Okay, From the Stretch joined you tonight on this Friday, 12/6, 2024, December 6th, 2024, episode 9, and we're ready to go. I'm Jason DeCanio once again. Happy Friday to all of you. This is the first Friday show we've ever attempted for From the Stretch, but we're going to do our best to give you the current events of today, taking you, first of all the way back to 1865. Yes, where the day freedom triumphed, the abolition of slavery in the United States. Yes, that was a big deal, and it stirred the course for the end of slavery as we know it today. Then we move to 1921 and the birth of a nation, the establishment of the Irish Free State. We'll be looking at that next. And then we go to almost close to 35 years ago, 35 years ago, in 1989, where a day of tragedy and reflection, the Ecole Polytechnique massacre. Yeah, that was a thing, I guess, that happened over at one of the universities. So, yeah, that reaches the big spot right there. So we got three different current events to look at. And the first one we're going to start off, of course, the day freedom triumphed. The abolition of slavery in the United States. Yes. Let's take a look at that right quick. And here we go. The United States reached a pivotal moment in its history. The ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution formally abolished slavery, forever changing the course of the nation. And this monumental achievement marked the culmination of decades of struggle by abolitionists and the end of a brutal institution that had defined much of America's social and economic landscape. Slavery had been a cornerstone of the Southern economy, with millions of African Americans enduring unimaginable suffering as they were forced to labor without freedom or rights. The abolition of slavery was not merely a legislative change, it represented the moral reckoning of a nation that long struggled to reconcile the ideals of liberty with the realities of systemic oppression. The journey to the 13th Amendment was arduous and marked by deep political and social divisions. The Civil War from 1861 to 1865 played a critical role in bringing the issue of slavery to the forefront. As the Union fought to preserve the nation, the question of slavery's place in America became impossible to ignore. President Abraham Lincoln's issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 was a significant step, declaring freedom for slaves in Confederate states. However, this executive order was limited in scope and needed the permanence of the constitutional amendment. After intense debates and political maneuvering, the amendment was passed by Congress on January 31st, 1865, and sent to the states for ratification. Its adoption by Georgia, the 27th state to ratify, met the constitutional requirement, officially enshrining it into law. The abolition of slavery was a transformative moment for the United States, but it was only the beginning of a longer struggle for racial equality. And while the 13th Amendment ended legal slavery, it did not eliminate systemic racism or ensure equal rights for African Americans. The Reconstruction era that followed saw the passage of the 14th and 15th Amendments, which aimed to secure citizenship and voting rights for former slaves. However, progress was met with fierce resistance, leading to the rise of Jim Crow laws and widespread discrimination. So today, the abolition of slavery remains a cornerstone of America's journey toward justice and equality, and it serves as a powerful reminder of the nation's capacity for change and the enduring importance of standing against oppression. Yet the legacy of slavery continues to influence contemporary discussions about racial inequality, criminal justice reform, and economic disparity. December 6th also stands as a day of triumph and reflection, a reminder of the resilience of those who fought for freedom and the enduring need to uphold the principles of liberty and justice. The abolition of slavery is a testament to the power of collective action and the ability of the nations to confront its darkest chapters. As we commemorate this historic milestone, we are called not only to honor the past, but also to build a future where freedom and equality are truly universal. All right. So that takes us now to the next current event, which is in 1921, the birth of a nation, the establishment of the Irish Free State. A pivotal moment in Irish history unfolded with the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty. Now, this agreement between representatives of the British government and Irish leaders marked the culmination of decades of struggle for Irish autonomy. Now, it established the Irish Free State, granting the 26 southern counties of Ireland the status of a self-governing dominion within the British Commonwealth. And while falling short of full independence, the treaty represented a monumental step forward for Irish sovereignty, creating a framework for the nation's political evolution. The treaty was signed after months of negotiation between the British delegation, led by Prime Minister David Lloyd George, and the Irish team, including Michael Collins and Arthur Griffith. The agreement included contentious provisions, such as the requirement for Irish parliamentarians to swear allegiance to the British Crown, which ignited debate and division within Ireland. Nonetheless, for many, the treaty symbolized the pathway to freedom after centuries of British rule. The establishment of the Irish Free State was the result of years of persistent resistance and rebellion, from the failed uprisings of the 19th century to the 1916 Easter Rising. Irish nationalists consistently challenged British authority. The War of Independence from 1919 to 1921 intensified the struggle, with the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, employing guerrilla warfare against British forces. The treaty itself was a compromise born of this conflict. While it fell short of full independence, it granted Ireland substantial autonomy. Now, the Free State's establishment also allowed Northern Ireland to opt out and remain part of the United Kingdom, which created a lasting divisions on the island. And this compromise led to the Irish Civil War from 22 to 23, as factions within Ireland clashed over the terms of the treaty. And despite this turbulent beginning, the creation of the Free State laid the foundation for Ireland's eventual declaration as a fully independent republic in 1949. While the establishment of the Irish Free State marked a turning point in Ireland's history, one whose effects were still felt today. The event underscored the importance of negotiation and compromise in resolving deeply entrenched conflicts. It also demonstrated the challenges of nation building in a divided society, lessons that resonate in political contexts worldwide. In contemporary Ireland, the legacy of 1921 is evident in its status as a thriving independent nation. The treaty's initial compromises paved the way for Ireland's gradual assertion of full sovereignty and its emergence as a key player in global affairs. While domestically, the partition of the island remains a source of political and cultural tension, as calls for Irish unity continue to shape discourse. The story of the Irish Free State is a testament to the resilience of the Irish people and their enduring pursuit of self-determination. While the road to independence was fraught with challenges, the events of December 6, 1921 signify a triumph of will and vision, a milestone that changed the trajectory of Ireland's history forever. All right. Now, bump some 2 years later, and we now go to December 6, 1989, where a day of tragedy and reflection, the École Polytechnique massacre. On this date, 1989, a horrifying act of violence shocked Canada and the world. A gunman entered the École Polytechnique, an engineering school in Montreal, targeting female students in a rampage fueled by misogyny. 14 women were brutally murdered and 14 others were injured, and this tragic event, often referred to as the Montreal Massacre, exposed the deep-seated issue of gender-based violence and prompted a national reckoning that continues to shape conversations about gender equality, public safety, and societal values. On that fateful evening, a lone gunman armed with a semi-automatic rifle and a hunting knife entered the school's campus. Separating men from women in a classroom, he declared his hatred for feminists and opened fire on the female students. After killing 6 women in the room, he moved through the school, continuing his attack before turning the weapon on himself. The massacre lasted less than 20 minutes, yet its impact on survivors, witnesses, and the broader community was immeasurable. The victims, primarily young women pursuing engineering degrees, were targeted because of their gender and career aspirations in a traditionally male-dominated field. This senseless attack highlighted the vulnerability of women even in spaces of education and opportunity, raising critical questions about the intersection of gender, violence, and systemic discrimination. The massacre was a watershed moment for Canada, exposing the pervasiveness of gender-based violence in society. In response, advocacy groups and policymakers began to address long-ignored issues of violence against women. December 6th was designated as the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women in Canada, encouraging reflection on the tragedy and action toward preventing such violence in the future. The incident also catalyzed significant legislative changes. Gun control became a central issue, leading to the establishment of stricter firearm regulations through the Firearms Act of 1995. And this legislation mandated the registration of all firearms and required licensing for gun owners, demonstrating Canada's commitment to preventing similar tragedies. Over 3 decades later, the legacy of the École Polytechnique massacre continues to resonate. It has become a symbol of the broader struggle against gender-based violence worldwide. Educational campaigns and public discussions have emerged, focusing on dismantling harmful gender norms, addressing systemic inequalities, and promoting safe spaces for women in education and the workplace. The tragedy also inspired movements advocating for women's rights and gender parity in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those are those fields. And many initiatives now aim to support and empower women in these traditionally male-dominated areas, transforming a space of tragedy into one of resilience and progress. The École Polytechnique massacre remains a somber reminder of the devastating effects of hatred and discrimination. However, it also serves as a powerful call to action, urging individuals and communities to challenge inequalities or inequities, support victims, and work toward a future free of gender-based violence. Each December 6th, as Canada remembers the 14 women who lost their lives, the nation reaffirms its commitment to building a more equitable and compassionate society. And there you have it, the events that sparked the nation over the course of the last 100 years on this date, December 6th. And today we are reflecting on this date, December 6th, 2024. Episode 9 concludes tonight, and we thank you very much for joining us here. Hope you enjoy these From the Stretch episodes. Look forward to seeing you on Monday with a whole new list of current events. Where we're going? Well, you'll just have to tune in to find out where we'll be on December 9th. Have a great weekend, and remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Good night from the Stretch.